I'm in a bit of a dark place. If I put on my video, I don't know. But let me try to put on my video. Anyway, this is a very important day and we are really excited. I don't know how much of me can be seen. It's a dark place. But anyway, it's a very important day at Ecure, especially in student leadership. And Ecure student leadership has been growing. Every other time we see improvements. I can use the word, it's growing bigger and better. So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we want to welcome everybody. I am glad it's going to be available on YouTube. So, even if people haven't watched tonight, maybe they're in hospital working, you know, we at Ecure, because we're in the medical field, sometimes people miss certain meetings because they have to be attending to patients, but it doesn't matter because it's being recorded on on YouTube. So we have hope that it will go up and students will be able to view it between now and the voting date. So we want to welcome everybody, but especially I want to welcome the 2 guild aspirants. Thank you so much. First of all, you're making our institution great, that we've come to such a level. For me, who's watched guild leadership changes in the last 4, I've seen, I think 3 handovers. So I'm excited. I'm excited that we have 2 candidates up for debate tonight. And we want to encourage you to be authentic, to be principled, to be respectful, respect one another, would like to see good, respectful campaigns. I really would request to you from my heart that we will not say things to tarnish the other person. Concentrate on your mandate. Concentrate on what you can do. We, the listeners tonight, will have an opportunity of forming an opinion. But remember, let respect be a key thing. And I trust both of you guild aspirants because I've interacted with both of you. You're both gentlemen. So kindly keep your stance as gentlemen and let's have a beautiful night. I would like to appreciate the chairman, Electoral Commission. He's really, really been cool-headed. Honorable Mwanguzi, I want to appreciate you. You've done a very good job carrying this mantle to this point. But tonight, I also want to appreciate Towera. Towera is very many miles away, but tonight, as you spoke, we were very, me, I was listening. I think I'm a listener because I'm a counselor. You have a very good skill, I know you're a very high profile person, but the way you really modulate our sessions at Ecure, you do us a very good job. And I was just thinking, young people, if there is anybody on the call, listen to how Towera carries this. You know, you don't know, this program is meant to train all of us. Next time, maybe the organization which employs you will want a good speaker, a good moderator. So let's not just come on the show just to pass time. But as you come in, me, I really listen to her. I listen to her words. I listen to her tone. I listen to her expression. Towera, thank you so much. But first of all, for being very willing to continue working with us, but also to be such an exemplary leader. So I'll hand over the mic back to you, Towera. We are excited about the guild debate and we believe we are going to have a good time. Thank you.
Thank you, Awadi. I am really, really humbled at your words. We thank God. And yes, I'm always happy to work with you and work with the rest of the team as well. So when I was invited to moderate this session, I said, why not? This is my school also. So yeah, surely I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much. Okay, so right about now, we'll give an opportunity also to the chairperson, Electoral Commission, Mr. Benon. Please, you can come through.
Thank you so much, Madam Towera. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, thank you so much. Good evening to all of us, all protocol observed. I greet in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. I am Mwanguzi Benon, the chairperson, Electoral Commission. We thank God for carrying us this far. We have had this exercise for all the time we have moved. And thus far, I can confidently confirm to you that the candidates I present to you today for the presidential debate have gone through the processes. And in my eyes, and in our eyes as the Electoral Commission Committee, we trust that the best candidate will emerge, and indeed, he will do us good. We have tried to deliver on our part by the help of God, and we thank everybody, especially Madam Dean and the entire administration for the support in every way. I don't want to take too much time because today is a day for hearing ideologies, ultimatums, and manifestos. Thank you so much. And over to you, Madam Towera. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our chairperson. And without wasting time, already I'm seeing there's an outcry for, the candidates to put their videos on. So maybe you could try and put your video on, but if the network is disturbing, then we can go on without you. But maybe just to greet the people, you can put your video on so that we see it is really you and it's not somebody else representing you. So, and we will give each of the candidates 10 minutes to give us their speech, after which we'll go into a session of questions with me through the Electoral Commission, and the questions that have been forwarded by the students, I will read them out and then you will respond accordingly. So let us have our first candidate. We'll start with Honorable Okodi, given Theogracious. Please, you can switch on the video, say hello to us, and then if you feel you have some network issues, feel free to go on, but preferably you can be on as, people have asked in the chat. Mr. Okodi. Mr. Okodi, are you there? I think I saw your video on, but I think you've gone off. Please say something.
Yes, thank you so much, Madam Towera, for giving me this opportunity to expose myself in this video. And thank you so much, everyone who is available for this debate. I hope it's going to be an interesting evening for all of us, the administrators around, the students, and even my opponent for now, Mr. Kato. And I welcome all of us. I hope we shall have a wonderful exhibition of a debate. Thank you.
Yes, so we can go right into your speech. You can tell us what you have for us, what you bring to the table once you are voted in, or if you're voted in as the guild president. So you have 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, we will give a chance to the other candidate as well.
Yes. Thank you once again, and all our administrators available for today's debate. I applaud you. The students who have made it to this discussion, I really applaud you so much for being interested in student leadership. Now, my name is Deogracious Given Okodi. I'm in my third year, semester 1 of Bachelor's of Medical Imaging. Now, you may ask yourself what has really propelled me to come this time round to contest for the guild presidential post. We have a number of factors that has impelled us that we feel we need to change about the status quo of our university. we are all aware right now that HUR is transitioning into a university. So whoever Guild president is going to come, it's going to be very, very important that that person brings upon what I decide to call, or our team decides to call, a fundamental change, not necessarily just a change of personalities. Now, student leadership in the past, we believe, has played a fundamental role to bring all of us up to here. And it's only right that now we carry on from where they have stopped. We have learned a lot from their merits. We have learned a lot from their achievements. And we have also noted a few frailties that perhaps they didn't score. Now, let me start with what I deem as my most important rallying call for this contestation is the idea of bridging the gap between the students and the guild itself. You see, the guild leads the students, and then bridging the gap between the students and also the administration of the university. We see there are three very important factors of this education kind of infrastructure: the students, the staff, and then we have the board of governors. So we really need to bring students to come together and have an understanding with the administration. How do we plan to do this? We need first to publicize guild events. And how do we bring the students also to the administration? We want students to also be responsible of the policies we are creating for our university. Why should policies just be made and then perhaps students are not consulted at all? That is, I don't think it's right. In other places, students are also consulted about some policies. And it's on that ground that we seriously want students to, one, be conscientized and come together and speak one language, that this is also what we feel is right, and administration can listen. Secondly, the most pressing issue in our institution, and I believe it's becoming chronic, is the issue of delayed marks, examination marks, the issue of delayed data for our learning, especially data, and yet we do pay some kind of functional fees. It's only right that we do receive the service that we do pay for, and even at the right time. I loved the last session of character building by Reverend Cannon, where he talked about timeliness as one of the core values that we should have. So even such issues, marks, it should be delivered in a timely manner. We have a scenario where those in August intake have studied for quite some time. And a case in point is year 2, semester 2, especially BMI. They have studied almost all ultrasound course units, but they have just received, some have received data today. I don't think that is right, and yet we are advocating for timeliness. Now, third is what we believe that we should motivate our class reps. You see, the basic unit of our lecture rooms is led by class reps. We really need to motivate them to love what they are doing. Some of them actually never want to be class reps again. Why? They are called to school, they spend their transport to school. No one thinks about how can we compensate them. Other classes have even been organizing now their own parties to appreciate their class reps, which is kind of telling the guild that perhaps you are not doing enough to these class reps. We need to motivate them. And in our manifesto, we have captured a huge package of how best we can motivate them in terms of their transport, in terms of their data, in terms of their perhaps airtime even. Now, fourth is one thing that I'm very enthused about. That's the idea of research. Our own deputy principal, that's Mr. Professor Kawoya. I remember when we attended the Yogason session, he told us how he was one of the first students actually was bragging about breaking our principal's record in research of being, I think, in the first year producing an article that that was presented somewhere. And I looked at myself, I'm like, where are we? Why have we lost all this time? And yet, even in year one, we would be involved in research, and perhaps would also be bragging of such. But anyway, we know that we do not waste time. We end up, we just waste ourselves. So we want to set a new trajectory that students, even who are coming, can start partaking, uh, taking part in research. Now, we really want to tackle the issue of students' health. And now, friends, we do have ladies who come to school premises and perhaps uh, have some issues. We know the usual biology. Uh, Even males, I see sometimes when we are campaigning, we find gentlemen very sick, and they really need somewhere to rest. And as a coming guild, if given the mandate, we really need to have a structure where maybe students can rest, get a few painkillers, and etc. and etc. Now, issues of welfare, so many students have reached out to me and they are like, Honorable President, you want to come, but if in case you come into office, give us a canteen, give us a restaurant. We need that where maybe prices are fair. We are having a lot of extortion from
Two more
those who are.
minutes. 2 more minutes, Honorable Cody.
Thank you. We are having a lot of extortion. Actually, students spend a lot on even water alone. Students spend a lot. And as a guild, we really need to look into these matters and see that we have something akin to a restaurant or akin to a canteen to the minimum where students can get some of these. I said I'm in my third year. I've just finished the semester of ultrasound, and key on the agenda is the idea of practicum sites. Now, we know that we are basically studying some courses that are very practical, and we need to get into departments. So it's important. We see that we have basically mainly two memorandums of understanding with Kawempe and Chirudu. I don't think that is enough. It's not sufficient, and yet we need to practice more and more. And even those ones, we have had issues where students, I think last week on Thursday, students of ODU chased out of Kawempe because of some issues. I'm happy that right now.
Honorable Okodi, your time is up. Thank you so much for the speech. And yeah, we see that you have a following and people are appreciating and commenting in the chat. Thank you so much for your speech. Please stand by for questions. But before then, we're going to call upon Honorable Kato Julius also to give us his speech. Thank you so much. So you may maybe close your video and then we can have the next presidential candidate to come through. Mr. Julius.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wera, for the good moderation of this moment. I'm here this evening, and the principal, Professor Okawe in absentia, the dean of students, Mrs. Sarah Biamukama, the electoral commission, the guild council members, fellow students, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all in the name of Jesus Christ our Lord. I'm by names of Kato Julius, doing a bachelor's in medical imaging, the Maya 2. I'm really glad to share with you this evening the great journey we need to move together, that we have started together, that we need to move until it comes to the end. Dear comrades, today I am filled with both humility and determination, knowing that the decisions we make today having given in your time come and listen to me, to listen to someone you're going to trust with your voice. All the leaders present today in the House, our dear ministers that have already been vetted, I applaud your presence. The goal today is just not to solve the problems we have temporarily, but it is to see how best we can vaccinate them at their roots, so that they do not resurface in the future. We must create lasting solutions that will stand the test of time, because we are the people present and we are the solutions to everything that comes around. We have had so many things for the time we have been at ECRI that move around, but it needs us. Before you stand back, it's all about all of us coming together to see how we can set solutions to the problems we face as the students and the school at large. And today I want to tell you one thing. We need broad leadership, visionary leaders, and a steadfast commitment to our shared values. And I want to tell you one thing. I am a leader who will not only listen to our voices of our community, but also amplify them to the broader stage. I've had some enough experience in this thing of presentation when it comes to student matters. And I've had a career of leadership expertise that I feel I have to share with you, so that you can know someone you trust is someone that has been tested, not only in the ECRI community, but also outside ECRI, so that is the voice we can trust to lead our points where they're supposed to be. In that, I can give it in a summary. Where we are standing in ECRI, I'm the class representative of BMI and BDU, March intake 2023, up to date. And apart from that, I was a member of the Constitutional Development Committee of HMISA. For those who do not know HMISA, it is a new association that we have formed in ECRI, that we have seen its growth from the beginning, and we had set a constitution for its beginning, and I was part of it. And outside ECRI, that is, I'm a clinical officer by profession, and I imagine that when I was doing my course, I also had to present my fellow students to better levels, to greater heights. And to that, I was head of diploma clinical medicine faculty at Medicare Health Professionals College. That is from 2021-2022. Then from that, I was a guild president still, then the vice guild president. That is how I managed to make that side, and it was a success in presenting matters concerning students. And tonight, dear friends, I come up with I have a big manifesto that I may not present us this evening, and we raise it all. But I tried to get a few key points to address, and I'm calling it a 5-point plan for our good, for our stay at ECRI. And this will be looking into most 5 things. That is 1, academics, then social avenues, then 3rd, quality service delivery by Guild Council, then health, then we need a circle as students. To take you through academics, for the time I've been at ECRI, I've observed about a few things that hinder our academics. First of it all, we have a gap between the institute. We have to bridge the gap in the institution between the students and lecturers, guild administration, students and administrators. To that, it was to my surprise some time back, I went to some administrator about issues that were affecting students. And I was surprised when the administrator told me, I'm not sure about anything you're telling me. That can be confirmed with the class I've been leading, and we had to get best ways of solving it, and our matters from them to see how best we could solve them. They were looked into and we got solutions. And I feel as your guild president, I can see how best, I know we have had different gaps in different things. I know we can see how best we can join together and bridge these gaps. And that comes in with our guild council, our guild president, and our ministers. See how best they can bridge for us this gap and eliminate everything that is not well for our good, for our stay at ECRI. Then second thing, we have had delayed and missing students' results, which wouldn't be an issue in our ECRI as if it was organized very well. If we had combined voices, if we had to see if we could come together and raise voices with a good presentation, see how best we can connect with because we start with the academic minister from ground, then to the academic registrar. Then if all that fails, my dear friends, the guild president sits on the governing council of the school. When matters fail on a lower level, as a guild president is supposed to be raising matters beyond what are supposed to be sent to, other than leaving them that as they have failed. But you can raise them up to that level and they are hard. So dear friends, this issue can be solved very well and we get through it and get solutions about it. And we have always had issues with having less practical sites for our students to attain practical skills and exposure of different cases. Because we know we have almost one practical place around that we always go to, that we cannot always get all matters very well. So we need to see how best we can get other more matters, other more places that we can be sent to get some more skills from there. Because we have many around that we always attend. We have had memorial standards that have been in place with Kawempe and other places which are not enough. We need more than that. And that one comes well when our president, as a guild president, in association with the school, see how best can be brought broader than that, and we get issues solved. Then my second point was about social avenues. At ECU, it's very dangerous and absurd that you can study with your class member or your classmate from the beginning, from year one. You finish your 2 years without knowing one another, which is absurd. Because tomorrow we are not stopping at ECU, we are going outside to be in the environment. Why you find you have a workmate who was your classmate, but you don't know anything about that person. And you find that one moment someone tells you, I'm from ECU and I was there this year, which will be absurd. And our guild president today says, we are coming up with so many avenues to solve these issues. These will be sports, associations, and social gatherings. To that, with sports, we won't always organize both on and off campus sports involving indoor and outdoor games. We can have interfaculties. People who have made it, we have been in different schools and we have made it there, and we can still bring it here for ourselves. See how best we can bring this together, because you can go for sports, of course, will be improving your talent, but still beyond talent, you'll be meeting a person you have not seen, someone you have always had in class, but you don't know, someone ahead of you that can get some guidance.
2 more
Thank you.
minutes. Oh, Julius, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Towera. That is with sports. Then associations, we already formed 2 of them. We have HMISA, which is for emerging students, and HBSA is in place, but they need support from the council. How best can we get some fund for them to improve our matters? Then third point, we have quality service delivery by the Guild Council. Dear friends, we need to see how best our Guild Council can look into matters that at least can be made straight for us. When you look into the constitution of ours, it has so many loopholes. Because I've made by experience, I've made some of them. But when we look around our constitution, it has so many issues, even from the ground, even at this point, whereby we find our ministers are being vetted by members who are part of the students, whereby 70% of it brings us the ministers, but we are not from the student body. So dear friends, if we can look into the constitution and put it right, things can be better. Then still, I'm a class rep, as I've said, and we face so many challenges. Dear class reps, I assure you, when I get into office, it will be a done deal for us. See how a class rep does so many things on ground, so many, because I faced them in person from experience of being one, there are so many. So our dear class reps need to see how best we can support them, we can give them all the necessary support for their raise and raise our classes very well. Dear friends, I know at ECU we don't have enough space, but it's my surprise if we have members who are paying 2,000 for a motorbike, for a motorcycle parking when it's our school. And this comes back to ask ourselves, where will we get that love of our school when we are paying that parking space? But this can be looked into by the Guild president, advocating the school administration to see how best this can be solved, because this is our school where we are supposed to be and enjoy it, not suffer in it. So when we come into place, we need to see how best we can work on that. My fourth point is about health. Health is always a fundamental point when it comes to all students. And when you check around IQ, it's very hard to get drinking water, just mere drinking water, which is always a fundamental part of life. When you don't have enough fluids, you don't have health. So dear friends, with that, we need to see how best we can put up water purifiers in school. so that we can always get this water anytime we want. That's cheap and they can be raised by the guild council. Also, we need to see how best we can get emergency treatment fund as students, because it's very absurd when you fall sick at school and you have first call a parent or friends rush you somewhere. But this can be looked into if we see how best we have a fund for the students. Then also we can have an healthcare insurance scheme whereby
Thank you
our
so
dear.
much.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Our
Thank you.
Honorable, thank you for those deliberations. And yeah, for everybody who's commenting in the chat and uploading our candidates for this evening, thank you so much. And so, Honorable Julius, we will start with you. So right about now, we'll go into questions. So you'll be given each maybe under a minute or two to respond to these questions that have been forwarded by a number of students from Mercury. And these are some of the things that they wish to find out from you as you plan to come on board. They wish to understand exactly on how you're going to tackle some of these issues that they've been complaining about. So the first question to Honorable Julius is, it says, there has been a recurring issue in the Institute about the late release of exam results. How best and different are you going to combat this issue? So there has been a recurring issue in the Institute about late release of exam results. How best and different are you going to combat this issue? Maybe just under a minute or two, you can respond to this one. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Torera. We have had this issue for a while about our results, and we need to see how best, how when this council comes in, how we can solve this issue. I know most people have talked about it, but it has remained in space hanging. But I said, not missing protocol. I have to see as a guild president how to start from the academic ministry, see how best, what do they put in place for us, and which answers do they have for us. From there, we move straight away without missing protocol. We check with the academic registrar, see what is the problem, what we have matters not well. If it's all about not the lecturers having enough time, see how best the school can give them some more solutions, how to bring these results in time. And if all that fails at that level, we see how best can go to the governing council that governs the school, because it has become an issue that affects every student and it needs to be looked into. It's something that needs emergent solutions in equity. So when it reaches that, I have to present to all levels, see that at least even the governing council that governs the whole school is aware and how we can get the best solutions for that. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Let us move to Honorable Okodi. In a minute or two, please talk about your leadership experience. People are interested to know. Have you served at various levels? Just let us know what is your leadership experience so far. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Victoria, for that. My leadership experience springs right back from primary boy of St. Kizito Nursery and Primary School. I went for O-level at Maryland High School in Entebbe, Chigungu campus, where I ended up in senior 3 to senior 4 being the president debating club. When I joined A-level at Uganda Matters SS Namgongo, I was the president of the Writers Club. And when I joined Echury, just last year, I was also elected the speaker of the Ernest University Medical Imaging Students Association that have just resigned of late after some of our friends deemed it fit that for us as an association to thrive properly, we need one of us to go and run for this guild presidential post. That's perhaps needless mention is the different small organizations that have been leading, especially academic discussion groups at our school, that I think a lot of our friends can only praise the proper stewardship I render them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Let's move to Honorable Kato Julius Magezi. So there's a question here and it says, many students have complained about the inconsistency in the communication between the students and the administration. How best are you planning to strengthen this communication and bond between the students and the administration? Honorable, I think you're muted.
Hope now I'm there.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you very much, Madam Tora, for that question. And I wish to say every problem needs always first know as we get solutions of a problem, we need to always know the source of the problem and how it comes in. If it is this communication gap, we need to find out why is the problem. And the problems we have always found as students, I know people have told me all those issues, whereby some offices are not welcoming in our equity, and some offices are not accessible. And this comes back to us as the guild president to see how best to inform the school that every office that belongs to the school belongs to the students to be accessed at all times, at all moments. And a person doing it must be aware that students must access the offices at all times. And this is all about our guild president, none other than Kato Julius. Check on these offices and find out what is the matter, what is wrong, why is the office not providing enough and the required solution students coming to it, and see how best we can solve everything, and always have meetings for students, always meet with the administration so that we can always have our matters raised to them. Because I know with ECRIT is mostly online, and we can always have these meetings with the school so that with our students, we always raise our issues and we get answers in time there and then. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Let's move to Honorable Okodi. And your question comes in and says, how do you intend to efficiently run guild funds to the satisfaction of the students? How do you intend to efficiently run guild funds to the satisfaction of the students?
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Wira, for that. That is one of the core things we want to emphasize. We are standing so much on the principle of accountability. One, I don't see any problem when the guild presents their budget to the entire student body. And that's one thing that we now want to effect in this new leadership. The guild budget should be disseminated for students, even to know what's going on. You see, there are a lot of complaints among students, perhaps, who doubt how effectively their money is being used. Some students believe that perhaps some invisible forces somewhere is kind of cheating them. And it is something that proper accountability by disseminating our budget, not only on quarterly basis, but even on monthly basis. And if possible, we also intend to have a budget day in our calendar year that we properly talk to students and let them understand how we are managing their funds.
Thank you so much, Honorable Okodi. So our next question goes to Honorable Kato. And it says, how best are you planning to improve the student-to-student relationship and interactions to create stronger bonds, since the majority of the activities are online. So how best are you planning to improve the student-to-student relationships and interactions to create stronger bonds, since the majority of the activities are online? Under a minute.
Thank you very much, Madam Tawera. That still lies in my manifesto, which is number 2, social avenues for us students. And in this, we have a number of them. That is when concerning sports, associations, and social gatherings. It's my surprise as to year ones when they came in school, we're supposed to be giving them a welcoming party, which we always call a bash, whereby you can all meet and see how best we welcome them in for us, Miss Ekri and Mr. Ekri. When it comes to the time of gatherings, it brings us together as a whole. And we come in for a party for fun, but still you meet a friend who connects you to a friend. That is with social gatherings. Then sports. We have lacked enough sports in our Ekri, and we feel our council can do enough with Cato Julius. See how best we can have internal sports, those are interfaculties, or we can see how best we can organize them through the Ministry of Sports, and we have the best of them. They can be indoor and outdoor, because we have some friends who are good at mind games, one-on-one, and we have those who can do physical games, football and others. We see how best we bring them on board. We need associations in ECRI. So far, we have 2 of them, which are academic. That is Echubesa, that has been there from the engineering school. And we created one that we made its foundation and everything. That is Echumisa. See how best we can support them and raise others. We can have religious associations raised very well. And we can also have cultural ones. You know, we have people from the central, people from the north, people from the east, people from the west. And we see how best we can bring also these social associations to bring us together always. And we always have such meetings, such gatherings to bridge a gap of us being online and see how best we move together without leaving anyone behind as we move together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Let's quickly move to Honorable Okodi. And the question says, it is reported that you were a speaker for ECUMESA, which is Acure Medical Imaging Students Association. What did you do as a ECUMESA speaker to improve Acure? So that is the first clause of the question. Secondly, you were advised to step down as ECUMESA speaker before running for guild president. We are yet to see your resignation. Does this speak of you as a good leader? And how do you intend to address that matter going forward? So you can take the question in phases. What did you do as ECUMESA speaker to improve Acure? Secondly, you were advised to step down before running for presidency. We are yet to see your resignation. Does this speak of you as a good leader? And finally, how do you intend to address that matter going forward?
Thank you so much, Mr. Wera. Let me just verify the last statement. It's not a fact. It's not true that I haven't resigned. I have properly resigned from ECUMESA speakership role, and even right now they have already appointed another speaker. So perhaps this question is not exactly from the ECUMESA executive leadership. It is from somewhere vague. It's not true. I've properly resigned, and we attended a meeting that I gave them my stand that, and even most members in the executive committee gave me a go-ahead to go and contest because they believe that perhaps I will best represent the interests of the students at large. Secondly, what have I done for the of students and the betterment of ECUMESA? Now, friends, we just had swearing in of ECUMESA leaders late last year in December, and we entered at the end of the semester. That's in December. that is when we swore in. We entered into the new year. The leaders, the executive committee members can testify. As the speaker, I advocated for meetings thrice every week. We had those meetings starting from the first week of January. And even up to now, there's the work plan that we derived in those meetings that I happen to chair is still running ECUMESA forward. Sorry about that. So I was still expounding more on what I have achieved in ECUMESA. So you see, some achievements are quite silent that you may not see because it's a process. ECUMESA right now is a baby that we are nourishing, and it needs support from different parties. One, the leaders themselves, and even the guild at large. So having those meetings, we really achieved a lot. Now look at the new things that are coming up. We are making t-shirts. ECUMESA, we are making t-shirts. We are in constant dialogue. Even after I resigned, they still invite me for their meetings. We are now making t-shirts, and it's coming. So although I also want to question really our members, the student fraternity, that this is a very good idea, the idea of these local associations within our school. But as a leader and other leaders, we have witnessed numerous amounts of pressure being put on us unnecessarily even. And we struggling to survive in such kind of environment that we adopted ECUMESA with almost negative, more than negative $500,000 of debt that we are supposed to pay. We had totally no money. And so it's only best that we also be realistic on how we judge the achievements. So me, I look at it, my time there has been a proper success. I've initiated a lot of discussions. I've initiated a lot of work plan. And in that work plan, I see that ECUMESA is still thriving. And even with me in guild, they will be more confident that we have one of them there. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. Let's move to Honorable Kato. What new problem-solving innovations are you planning to introduce to the Institute if voted in as a new guild president? So what new problem-solving innovations are you planning to introduce to the Institute if voted in as a new guild president?
Thank you very much, Madam Tawera. To see which better methods and solutions we are going to put on board, or I will put on board as a guild president. Series of issues in ECRI comes with finding out what the problems are, first of it all, and get a solution to each. As I already said, when you look into ECRI, we have always had our people moving to different places, but without enough transport means that we are lacking a van, whereby our guild council with the school can see how much they can liaise matters, at least get a van for transporting when we are going. Maybe like now we have a function coming in shortly that we'll look into if we had a van take us there. Then the second of it, using non-violence solutions in place always to handle our matters. If it is concerning offices, always see how best, without any violence as students, but as a guild president, get there and get answers what is not doing well and get our issues. Second of it all, we have had our students doing exams at the last moment when they're lacking very little money. You find you pay 2M and you're lacking about 50,000 and you're trying to do your exams. And this can be solved when we set up a circle, which I'm saying can give a hand. We put a circle scheme, a circle project that will help us in 3 ways. You can get any money at the start You can get any money at the start to support, get you your tuition, and as you're finishing, or else when you finish, you can get a starting point from this circle that will give you a stand when you're in field, because at times we get into field and get stuck. We see how this can help you on that. Second of it can give us some saving ways, as when it is a sack and you're putting in something, it helps you in that way. Second of it all, it's all about see how best we can bring different schools in AK to be one school. We have the engineering school, we have the imaging, but you find they live in an environment when they look different. See how best we bring them together, imaging, engineering, and other schools being one. That is going there always to them. If it is engineering, as a guild president, always check on them at least monthly to get issues that side with their class representative council in that side and other leaders. Always check on them with other faculties. Always check on them always as a guild president and get solutions at hand that can always move us there. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. A question to Honorable Okodi. How do you intend to improve on social-based programs as the guild president? How do you intend to improve on social-based programs as a guild president?
Increase more fund.
Yes, thank you so much, Madam Towera. Now, you see, a big challenge that we do face in HURA is that we do not have a very vivid platform that we can properly socialize. And it's really prudent that any leader that is going to come, we should really struggle so much to improve socialization. Now, in our manifesto, we have a number of programs that we want to run to support socialization. One, it's going to be on academic basis. It's also going to be on non-academic basis. Now, you see, personally, I'm so much enthused by the idea of research, and I feel we can use research to enhance our socialization. In our tenure of office, in case we are given the mandate, we shall have funding for what I decide to call the Freshman Challenge. Now, this is a package to the new students who are coming. We want them to take part in research, give them topics, definitely with consultation from our seniors who we can ask to be mentors, and then the students in year one, be allocated groups, and they consult even the students in upper classes. We give them topics that they talk about, and in that they will be socializing on academic basis. But on non-academic basis, you see, I look at other avenues like sports. As a guild, we should be able to support sports with funding from the guild and even soliciting other funds. Even within the students, we have been having sports tournaments like in our class, and students contribute for it. So in our manifesto, we have talked about having an accurate, starting with a soccer league. We are transitioning into university. So we need something serious, even for the football team, for the netball team, for the volleyball, handball, and other sports, talk of badminton. So we intend to invest some part of our budget to support those avenues. So having an accurate soccer league, it's an interesting idea, but you may ask me, how do you think you will achieve that? We do not have a pitch anywhere. We do not, you look at that, all those factors. Now, I believe we can organize different classes, and also, as a guild, allocate some good money to it. And even the students themselves, there are so many students who are so much interested in this. You can contribute just a little bit. If each person for their team to register in their for their classes to register as team, just bring 1,000, and then we have solicit a pool of money to our sports department. We can develop that. Besides that, we intend to have dinners. In our manifesto, we we program that we should have a dinner having students of HURA and also invite alumni, in that the students can associate with the alumni who have already left. The alumni can share their vast experiences within school and even outside school to the students, so that in that way we shall be bringing about the different forms of socialization and many more others. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Our time is fast spent. We'll be ending shortly. But before we go, maybe 2-3 more questions to the candidates. This one goes to Honorable Julius. And it says, students have been desiring placements in 2 different hospitals to practice, and the institute has now signed MOUs with different facilities. How best are you planning to convince the institute to facilitate supervisors to enable teaching or learning of students in those different assigned facilities?
Thank you very much, Madam Towera. This will not be about convincing the administration. It will be about telling them the facts and what is required. I won't promise that I will convince the administration. That will be a true light to my fellow members, my fellow students. But I will present the matter the way it is, the way we hear what will help students to get what they must get. If it is about going for placements, they're supposed to get transport going there and getting supervision because for their benefit. This is a matter not when I don't have to lie to convince the administrators about it. This is a matter I have to express and for them to get the importance of students having supervisors, because it's very absurd when you move from here, you've been sent to Kawempe, but you don't have someone who knows you from school. By you always, I know there are always supervisors in Kawempe for the hospital, but you will not be handled as a student of ECRI. You'll be handled as anything. This is a matter of showing the administration what is right, what the students need. And surely, I know when people are showed what is right, they do the needful. So when we show when we talk to the administration about what is right for students concerning the placements, they have to do the needful. So dear friends, I promise not to see how to convince, but just talk to them to start if they can get more, sign other memorandum of understandings with other hospitals, provide enough sites for our students, and always send with them supervisors well facilitated for the benefit of the students, which is not all about going for a placement, but when you're not coming back with anything in your mind, but go with someone on your back, show you direction when you're there, to teach you something when you're there, because at least you're getting a different environment from school or from class into the field now. But you need to get some more other teaching from there, because in our learning, we learn by copying. If people you didn't know, we learn from our lecturers, we learn from our supervisors, and copy from them. So when we go with them, when the scholar we show them the right thing, they have at least to see how best they can give us enough supervisors to go with our students after telling them a fact or the benefit of the supervisors to the students. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable. I think in a similar instance, I've seen a number of concerns on Skills Lab. Maybe let's have Honorable Okodi tell us if you are voted into as the president, how would you ensure that there's efficiency in the Skills Lab? I believe this is at the institution.
Yes, thank you so much, Ms. Towera, again for giving me this chance. Now, you see about the Skills Lab, I've happened to pass through it last semester, and I think I can speak out of experience. Now, efficiency in our Skills Lab, there are a number of things we can always bring forward. And even last semester, I was one person that always kept suggesting some ideas to our skills lab manager, that's Mr. Julius himself. We had a weird scenarios last semester where some students even faint in the skills lab, and we do not have an emergency response team to support them and maybe bring them back to consciousness. So it's one thing that we should think about. We need to have some kind of structure such that the students in skills lab, in case one is not doing well, we can support them in that way. Now, skills lab is basically for attaining the practical skills. Now, one, we need proper timetables. I've interacted with some students of ODU who tell me actually their issues are never had, and some decisions are made so carelessly, and students believe so. And it's best that as students and those in the skills lab, we have clear communication that this is that, so that we do not kind of crisscross in whatever we shall do. And also in the skills lab, the time is not sufficient enough, friends. I went through this last semester and it was fire. It was really extreme because the time was short. And still, I believe that as students, we should take part in policy making. And one of my suggestions would be we would diffuse the skills lab content not only to one semester, but maybe diffuse it to other semesters. Now, I know there's a reasoning that one should have done anatomy and passed them, but I ask myself, if someone has done digestive system in year one, they are really interested to start interacting. Why shouldn't we have a change of program such that even those who have completed maybe first semester, they have studied some things in digestive. Let them also orient themselves to this kind of ultrasound issues. So having that diffusion of the program, perhaps it reduces the pressure, which is only in one semester. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Last question to Honorable Julius. So how best can you, or are you willing to help in your regime the dropouts in case one is in his or her last semester? How can we prevent referrals to those in their last year and they have failed to reach the 75% of the tuition?
Thank you very much, Madam Toera. As I promised friends with my manifesto, it comes with a circle scheme that we need our hands to see at least to give a commitment and financial empowerment and community support. This is for our benefit because I've at least had this in our the biggest problem around, whereby people are missing out big things. That is about you're remaining with about 10%, and you leave out school because of that. It's really sad and paining to everyone around, every student, because in our student fraternity, we have those who pay for themselves, those from who are paid by the parents, and from other sources, and anything can come around. But dear friends, when we come up and raise a circle, because when a circle organized, it can be funded by the council. We can still talk about, see how best we can look into the school, also to do some funds for it. We can go beyond and do fundraising to different sources. See, at least we have a standing circle that can at least look into issues for our students. Beyond that, even when out of school, savings after that, when you've saved your amount there, other sources of money will be bring the circle, they help us out. And second of it all, it's here absurd in Ekri, that at least we have been there and you find a student has up 75% as your reservation. And our dear administrators, they can look into this. It's really painful. And this we need to see how best, I will see how, because at least the student will not away. After paying the 75%, meaning the student will still pay the 25% because the results and everything is still with the school. Why not leave the student? This is all about with the administrators, with all the people responsible to see how best they can also support we students in that. Because at least we are in an environment where we are doing our best to make ends meet. So they need to see how best also they can support us as students. Because if you tell me a student has paid 2M and is remaining with 100, you deny that student to do exam surely. That is surely not justice. When we look into it very well, it's a different thing. So when we talk to them very well, we can see at least how we give emancipate the students, see how best they can raise this money afterwards and pay back, and everything is well after doing the exams, and they get their results when they're paid. That can be a better solution. But at least I've done this, and I promise I will still do it. Going to every office required, every person responsible, hear our voice about it, and we'll get solutions to assure you, dear students, that won't be an issue when we have a joint voice, raise the dialects to the right people, and we'll get better at that, and no one will be stopped from doing our exams with a small amount, a penny, finish up the tuition. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable. And just before you go, we've come to the end of the question sessions. I know we've had a number of questions, some which I received directly in my inbox, some which came through the Electoral Commission from the students that forwarded. Somebody was asking where we're getting the questions from. So all questions that have been addressed here have come from the students themselves. So then, Honorable, before you go, maybe your last words under 2 minutes. Finally, what do you have to say to the student fraternity going forward? Thank you.
Yes, madam, you can pardon the question. I've got an issue with the network. Pardon.
Yes, so we are saying we are winding up the session. And what are your last remarks or your last word to the student fraternity that are looking forward to your coming in? What would be your last words? What would be your last remarks?
Yeah, thank you very much, Madam Tawara. I wish to say to my fellow dear students and everyone around, State is Kato Julius Magezi, that's my name, and assure you of one thing, that the slogan we have moved with, it will not only be a slogan, but something we put in place for our good, leaving no one behind, because this requires everyone to hold anyone's hand around you, to hold my hand, I hold your hand, until we reach where we are going, because it's all about empowerment, which does not know any bounds, but which is always fueled by the collective will of a united community, and together we can stand without leaving anyone behind, shaping a legacy of empowerment and transformation for generations to come, because this does not stop on us. We need to create a generation. We set a fundamental change for equity, starting from us, until people will come to find a better equity set by me, set by you, and set by everyone around us. Remember, when it comes Friday, let's not leave anyone behind. We hold one another's hand, we go vote and cherish and say this is our person as we get there. I'll be grateful and happy when we do our best on Friday, when we vote Kato Julius, leaving no one behind. Magezi Julius Kato is my name. Thank you very much. I'm humbled for listening from me. Thank you very much, dear friends. A team prayer for you all. We remain together, united. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Let's have Honorable Okodi with your last words to the student fraternity as they prepare to go and vote. What message are you putting across for the students? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wera. Friends, right now, I know you are at loggerheads. I know you are at crossroads of perhaps what is best for us. Now, whatever we shall do right now shall be judged by those who will come after us, whether we made the right decisions, whether we really advocated for the fundamental change that we are talking about here, and not just a change of personalities. And that has been my rallying call. You see, when I joined year one, my seniors told me, don't over-comment in groups. They will chant you and give you retakes. Luckily, I've been one of the top performers in our class and I've been vociferous about some of these issues. And we are not stopping there. We now want to enter this kind of guild leadership and offer our avaricious and perhaps all forms of vociferous advocation. I do believe so much in advocacy and dialogue. And so I really humbly request each and every one of us, let's make the right decision. Let's choose accountability. Let's choose transparency. Let's choose inclusivity. Just like you have noticed, most of our questions also actually did not focus on other faculties. And yet it's something that I'm so much interested about. Humanities, the Department of Informatics, the Department of Biomedical Sciences, they find themselves perhaps singled out. We need inclusivity and even diversity. Our international students, we have a huge package for you because you are coming into a foreign country and we really need to properly incorporate you into the system. Come that day, that's Friday 15th, let's look out for that name, Your Gracious, Given, or Cody, and let's give it a tick. We shall be securing our tomorrow. Our rallying call is tomorrow is looking great. Let's start it now. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Wow.
Honorable and Honorable Kato. Thank you for the time and for deliberating these issues with the students, and also we've had an awesome audience, all the questions, but we have tried to ask our contestants for this session. And right before we go, allow me also to call upon the chairperson, Electoral Commission, to give us his last words. The chairperson, Electoral Commission, Mr. Benon. Okay, if he's not here, let me call upon the Dean, Mrs. Sarah Mukama.
Hello. I want to appreciate our guild aspirants, Mr. Kato and Mr. Kodi, for giving us an opportunity of hearing you. The ball is in your hands, the voters, and if you're an eligible voter, you know what to say to be an eligible voter. I'm seated here with a friend, baby. That's the voice you're hearing. I can't believe she's complaining. She's complaining that I'm on phone. But thank you so much, Tora, for the perfect moderation. And it was a wonderful night. Yeah, let's forgive one another if we express views that weren't really pleasant, and we call it a day and put the presidential debate behind us. Maybe, I don't know if we have Professor online, probably he'll pray for us. I don't know. Toya, have you seen Professor? Online?
He's not here.
If he's not here, then I would like to pray as we close. Is that okay, Toya?
That is fine. Go ahead.
Okay. pray. Kind and loving Master, we want to appreciate you so much for tonight. Thank you so much that you brought us to the end of this program. And Lord, this is student leadership. Thank you for bringing them this far. We just want to pray for both candidates. That one, you will give them peace, Lord. And that two, Lord, the elections will go well, that we will not have any voting malpractice, that as in an institution we shall cross this particular season successfully, and that we will have a fully elected cabinet, a cabinet that will be able to serve the institution up to next year same time when we'll have the same election. Oh God, we pray for safety for both candidates, that they will be safe on the road, they will be safe where they reside, and that you will take care of any manner of anxiety. May both camps be respectful to one another till the very end. And Lord, like we had discussions with both of them before, we just want to ask that both of them will handle this with a lot of humility, understanding, and respect, and that out of this presidential debate and the election, we will forge a future that is inclusive. We know that Lord, you are our guide. Wherever we have failed today, in our thoughts, in our words, and in our deeds, and in our motives, and in our thinking, we ask that you forgive us and cleanse us with your precious blood. May we go to bed with a renewed spirit and a renewed connection with you, each one of us. And bless everybody who's been able to attend tonight. In the mighty name of Jesus, we have prayed. Amen.
Amen and amen. Thank you so much, our beloved Dean. And right about now, we've come to the close of the session. I believe it was helpful. Our presidential candidates have tried to give us, their speech. And I hope by now we've made up our choice on who we vote for come Friday. And also to just say thank you to Equity Management for this opportunity. I think we've not had an online debate since, and this is on record. So those that have missed it, you can still go to our YouTube channel and listen through. Also, Equity staff that have been able to join us this evening, thank you so much. The students, you've been really a wonderful audience. You've kept the chat quite alive. I've even lost track of the conversations. And also thank you so much to the candidates themselves, Honorable Okodi and Honorable Kato. We wish you the very best. And we look forward to you taking over and making all the changes that you have promised us this evening. From me to you, have a blessed evening.